Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question that I think a lot of viewers will relate to. And that is the statement that after, experiencing and surviving through a very toxic, manipulative relationship, perhaps with an antisocial, personality disordered individual like a psychopath, or someone who is malignant narcissist, someone who has dominated their relationship and has led them astray, including a lot of crazy making, pathological lying, flying monkeys, the brainwashing, the gaslighting, all the altered states of experience through these individuals, that she's so kind of caught up and addicted to this intensity and this fear that in the high risk in the relationship and the not knowing that drama is, she's so addicted that she does not know what else can make her happy. So she feels very separate from her peace. She feels very separate from her truth. She feels very separate from her decision-making qualities, or what we would call the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that gives you the ability of wise judgment, of morality, of being able to visualize your future and make plans for your future. And so it's like really understanding then that you're living in the fight, flight, or freeze. You're living in the limbic brain. You're living in that reactive state where you are living imbued with fear and the hormones of stress. And the hormones of stress are, making you hypervigilant, the armoring, the always having to appear a certain way. It's, getting armed for the next crisis. It's getting you armed for the next breakdown. You're armoring, you're trying to prepare and prevent for the next landslide of either emotions from yourself or emotions from this individual, and just dealing with a lot of the backtracking. And this high fear state can be very addictive to a healthy mind. In other words, the trauma is so profound, it's been so ingrained and hardwired in your mind and in your neurology that becomes the core of your identity. Your I am becomes defined by this highly triggered state. And then you define yourself as I am isolated, I am alone, I am a victim, I am brokenhearted. You begin to define yourself. Your I am is along this highly addicted state. Or you might even say, I'm addicted to this person. I'm infatuated. I'm obsessed. So a lot of these declarations then begin to define you. And it's not just a passing phase. It becomes really the core of who you are. It's taken up all of your vision. It's what you're focusing on. And, you don't know or desire a life even out of it. You can't extract yourself. You can't pull yourself up. And other people, maybe you've let go of the people who you used to have more calm, centered relationships with, or they're no longer attractive to you because you're still in this highly charged state. And perhaps you're not only thinking about it again and again, but you're still kind of preparing for that type of relationship. I'm going to find someone else, who can replace this person. And so you're keeping the same tormented love in your life. You're keeping that you have to approach the relationship with the same sort of perspective, or what I would call attitude or approach. You're feeling you're going to present yourself in the same way. And so what I would advise is the reason why you feel that you can't define what you want when we go through those exercises here on the channel is because you're still defining yourself by the presence of this type of individual. In other words, you're not able to see the options. You're not able to see the other opportunities. You're not able to open up to that because you still are trying to work through this. And it's really important for you to understand that what you think you're attracted to and going to get from that crazy-making, high-risk, sort of high-thrill relationship where you never know, and if the person is yours, and then you're working harder for them, and then your relationship becomes the struggle, and that becomes kind of the high thrill relationship. You think, well, this is what everybody wants, but look at where you are now. And if you were to look at where you are now, and this person has not been able to back up their words, they have not been able to back up their actions, they have cheated on you, lied to you, smear campaigned to you, and you've learned that they are not the right person, then really all your investment of time and your energy and devotion has not gotten you what you wanted. And so for you to repeat that would be an error of judgment. So in other words, that fear has then clouded your thinking and clouded your sense of judgment about what is really wise or best for you. And people can stay in this phase for a long period of time until they get to the point and they say, you know what? I wanted to have a family. It's too late now. I wanted to have a child. It's too late now. I wanted to have a life partner. Now I need to answer those questions at this stage of life. So you need to kind of open up to a new vibration or a new energy within yourself that says, hey, maybe that is not so attractive anymore. Maybe that lifestyle is not so attractive. Maybe there's a lot of danger in that lifestyle that can get me into a lot of trouble emotionally, which as you proceed becomes more and more difficult to bounce back from. So it's kind of like saying, ending that chapter of your life and saying, wow, that was an experience. It was good old days, however you want to look at it. I call it with a sense of nostalgia, but kind of put it away. Put it on the shelf and begin to have courage enough to begin a better chapter where things actually are linked to positive emotional states and you're in a more of a congruency with life. In other words, life is wanting to serve up the good and the happy and the peaceful and the harmonious and the fun relationships. All that is still there, but without the torrent of this chaos. And so it's to say, I am going to stop the addiction. I have health in my hands right now. I have harmony in my hands. This is a must for me. I must see the writing on the wall. And yes, you must hit like a rock bottom. And, you might, end up in legal trouble or, other sort of things. In other words, for you to really see that is not to be played with. And so, do not be alarmed, but I would say take a real serious look and begin to say, I'm going to clean my hands of this. This is no longer attractive. I do not fit well. I am not a good fit. In my best interest, I am not well fitted for getting into this sort of, what is the word that I'm looking for? Or cohabitate with these type of people. I don't need to co-create my lifestyle with these negative, toxic people. Whatever it is that they're doing, the types of, or the low integrity, or the people who are the high risk, like the individuals who you had associated with and you were sharing with, it's okay to say, that is not me. My vibe is going to attract a new tribe, and that is what I'm putting out into the universe. So my new vibe is attracting my new tribe. In other words, you're going to attract, if you're still vulnerable and you haven't shored up your boundaries, you might fall prey to that same sort of predatory consciousness, and that does not make one happy. That does not link to fulfillment. That does not, link to realistic experiences where you're actually getting the marriage, you're actually getting the buddies, you're actually getting the relationships that you can trust. You can, where you can then trust yourself and then test your boundaries, test your standards, begin to turn away from the bad, knowing and how to identify the bad and saying, okay, that is not what I'm plugging into. I am detaching, I'm deplugging, I'm no longer energized by that type of person. And even if, the crowd or the crazy making is saying that's where it's at, feel good to say that's not where it's at for me. I'm okay. I'm okay not drinking like that. I'm okay not drugging like that. I'm okay not working like that. I'm okay not associating like that. I'm okay not texting like that. I don't need to be on the Facebook. I don't need to be on the Instagram. I don't need to be on the Snapchat. That is not making a good fit for me. It's okay to say no. It's okay to opt out. And furthermore, so you need to kind of make those assessments within yourself. It is a process. And it's okay to say no, even though part of you was super loyal to that, or the way you had experienced it was, you know, this is my forever. So you might have had those feelings. It's okay to correct those, adapt and adjust. It's, you know, health is not going to come to you when you adjust to a core sick relationship. You know, if you're adapting to a core sick relationship, you're going to stay sick in the trenches there. So it's up to you to make a decision. It's the important for you to see that you have choices, you have decisions. And then I furthermore encourage you to give yourself opportunity to be independent, i.e. I'm alone. A lot of people are petrified by being without a relationship. And because their happiness is defined by other people, or they feel that other people are going to make them happy. One of the greatest tests of healing is that you have the ability to make yourself happy and not feel fearful. In other words, you can go to a restaurant alone. You could go to a movie alone. You can go for a walk alone. You can, you know, create beautiful arts of work independently. You can create your meals. So begin to have a vision that it's okay for you to have this, and that leader, that self-empowered individual will emerge from within you once you give yourself the permission. So it's very much a permission base. You know, when you change your behaviors, you change, you know, your patterns, you change your self-limiting beliefs. So, you know, those people who, I only get pickup, I only get drive out, whatever, you know, that is keeping you perpetuated in that funk, in that disappointed, depressed, and diseased state, and dysfunctional, and always thinking about this individual. You know, it's important to find in those little areas that you can break the pattern and break the cycle. So look at the contributing factors: what you eat, how you dress, where you work, how you sleep, you know, what you're doing with your free time, how you're reading. You know, are you acting out of self-respect? Are you acting from empowerment? Are you really, you know, energizing and finding what makes you energized in that harmonic state where you're really able to get what it is you want, and have that and hold that, and realize that we don't own anything, but to see that you can create on command within your life. And then you're finding what you want. And oftentimes the people who do not know what they want is because they're still in that state of denial. They're still in that state of deprivation. They're still in that lower energy. I can't lift a pinky finger. I can't get up. I can't get off the couch. I can't walk. You know, I can't do these things. They're still in the I can't. They're still, you know, commanding themselves on the negative. And so it's important to turn it around and say, I can. I have options. I can. I'm aware of my options, and I'm taking action now. It's not that bad. I'm taking action now. And then getting support, self-support, where you're underneath yourself, and then to understand that if it wasn't so difficult, I would really love to. You can ask yourself these questions. If it wasn't so difficult, if I weren't so obsessed about this person, I would really love to. And if this person didn't absorb so much of my time and energy, I would really be interested in. And one thing that I've always loved earlier in my life, but I haven't done in a while, is, and one of the main sacrifices I made during this relationship was, and many of the values that I kind of threw out the window during this relationship, but are really truly part of me, is that I value. And list these on your paper. Write these things down as they come to you spontaneously. Don't edit yourself. Allow these to be free from that inner censor, because that's how you unearth what it is you truly want. But you have to answer the questions. The state, you know, what I really needed to address, what I really learned from this relationship is. Another thing that I really learned from this relationship is, and then fill it in. And then furthermore, to the next level, really one of the most important things I learned from this relationship is, and then write it down. And then knowing this to be the case, for me to really follow my happiness and really have a sense of fulfillment and peace and harmony in my life, I really would love to. And write these down. And again, if guilt wasn't holding me back, if I weren't so ashamed, I would really love to become. And then write these down. Become aware of these things and then begin to take action immediately in the direction of your dreams. Move in that direction. If you want to paint, look at your budget, go get some supplies and do some beautiful abstract work or some penciling work or some, laying something out. Well, where is this going to go? You don't need to worry about that now. Those are all the excuses. Go and follow up on your dreams. Go for a walk. Begin to enter into the art store. Go get some software so you can do graphic design. Look at how you can become to do this and begin to develop a little portfolio for yourself. And then eventually you'll be able to share it. But this will be yours and it will be therapeutic. Even if it's cooking, even if it's shopping for certain things to upgrade your home, doing some remodeling, some rebuilding, rehabbing your wardrobe, rehabbing your vocabulary, getting out of the I can'ts and into the I can, rehab your inner life. It's very important. It's like you must tend to your internal real estate. I call it your internal real estate, where you're living in that millionaire mindset within, where you're in touch with the abundance in life. You're living in and growing from that spot. You are in the B state. So once you ask yourself these questions, find yourself what really makes you feel joyous. In other words, that everything is okay. That I call it the recovery gift. What can you give yourself at least once a week, more if you want, but that lets you know, hey, you are okay. You are good enough. Is it some fresh flowers? Is it a special cake? Is it a special smoothie? Is it a special vegetarian dish? Is it a piece of fish? A piece of steak? What is it that really makes you feel abundant, magnificent? Go out and give yourself that. And see how that can help now redefine you and define you and begin to identify with more of that healing, whole, magnificent, and self-evaluated state and B state, and make decisions from that once you arrive there. And you'll see your life turning around and you'll know what you want. You got this. You can do it. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.